Hi everyone, this is Country Music News International. My name's Nigel Sharpe. And on the other end of this kind of virtual line, I have the very great pleasure to be interviewing Ms. Irlene Mandrell this evening. I hope I pronounced that
It
correctly.
is, Nigel. I was going to help you, but you got it right. It's
Okay.
so weird to people because the spelling's so different.
Well, I don't really know the name. I mean, I haven't come across that before, so that's a new one for
I've
me.
known the name. I've known a few Irlenes, but it's
Okay.
usually girls named after Earl. And my dad was an Irby,
Ah,
IRBY, so my name's with an I.
okay.
So it's really confusing to people.
Maybe it's just an American name, or predominantly
It's a
American. I don't
country
know.
name.
I've never come across it in back home in England.
There's not a lot around here, but it's country. One time I was on the road and I was at a radio station and somebody said, we had a pet cow and we named her after you. And I thought it was an honor. And they
Cool.
said, well, we were just looking for the most country name we could find.
A country cow. Well, you can't beat that,
Yeah,
can you?
Irlene.
So I'm sitting near Frankfurt in Germany, but I'm from London in England originally. But where are you at right now? You're home, right?
Well, I'm just outside. I'm in Hendersonville, Tennessee, in the United States, but that's right near Nashville, just on the outskirts. And everybody
Okay.
knows Nashville, I guess. I went to Germany once, and it has been a few years. I was 11. It was my first trip overseas, my first trip on a big airplane. And it was when the 747s just came out, and I went with Barbara and Louise
Oh,
and one
okay.
guitar player. We were working military clubs, so it was like I was just getting started playing drums because I used to play drums for Barbara, and Louise
Yeah.
was playing bass and fiddle, and it was exciting. We stayed in. I know we were in something like Kaiserslautern. Is that
Kaiserslautern, yeah.
and
That's a big place for the American forces.
yeah, we were doing all military clubs. And then getting on the Autobahn was a real trip for us. That's cool. They're driving, it was winter and icy, and they're like, no, there's no speed limit. Do you still have
Yeah, it's
no speed
crazy stuff.
limit on the Autobahn?
Well, pretty much, yeah. I mean, there are certain parts of it where they kind of restrict it, but you still get these crazy guys. And it doesn't matter how fast you're driving on the Autobahn in Germany, there's always some guy in a Mercedes right behind you who's going even faster.
Isn't that great? We just held on and had
Never fails.
fun. Last night, we did a show in Virginia. I don't know if everyone over there is familiar with our states. It was something called the Old Dominion Barn Dance, and it was so much
Yeah.
fun. But that was the first time in almost a year that I'd gone out. So I have a lot of shows that are booked, not with just me. That I did a show that I assume aired over there called Hee Haw, and I was only on the last 8 years. It ran 25 years, but I did a character called the Cornfield County Operator, and I had my hair in curls up here and a big switchboard and all that. And then also, of course, a lot of the cornfield jokes and things like that. So I say last year, now it's been 2 years ago, I got invited. They had already been doing it for a year to do something called Cornfield Friends, cornfield being with a K. And it had Lulu Roman and Misty Rowe and a few other people that I used to work with
Oh,
years
okay.
ago on Hee Haw to travel and do dates. And we had quite a few of them booked, and they're still postponing. There was one that I would be off doing now, but they said no, but I was so glad that the one in Virginia did go ahead and open.
How did that go for you? I mean, were you nervous at all after
No,
a
you
big
know
long
what?
break?
I I would have been, because you wonder if you'll remember words and stuff like that. But I
Hmm.
actually got a band from there. When I work within a certain distance of Nashville, I have a band that I love, but a lot of them are session musicians. And my husband Pat Holt is a producer here and has been for years in Nashville. So they're friends of his and mine, and also he's my third husband, and both of us have been married 3 times. And my first husband and him are really good friends. Like, I hadn't seen Pat. We reunited in like 30 years. And it was just great. So my first husband's a great bass player. So when we're close enough, I hire him. And our son, my first husband and my son's a drummer, and we use him to play. And our and my daughters to sing, and I thought I just really missed them, which I did. I missed them, but also the band that I got there and we rehearsed was incredible. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, talking about your son playing drums, I did actually see a clip on YouTube where you come on stage playing drums and then you hand over the sticks to your son, Derek, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
great memory. Well,
And he starts playing, and I'm thinking, wow, this guy's good, you know.
thank you, because actually that's quite a few years ago, and he's come a long
Yeah.
way even since then. But I'm proud to say I did teach him in the beginning because I started drums, like I told you, in Germany at 11. But I taught Derek, and he, I've showed people's kids things and they may have rhythm, but Derek, you'd show him something and he'd play it. He just was a real natural at it. My granddaughter came in and we're doing a TV. Say hi to everyone. This is Blake.
Hey.
Hi. Okay.
Emily,
What?
Nancy did her shot and salve her tar.
Okay. I'm sorry. So, so here comes all of them. You said you got cats, I got kids.
Yeah.
So we heard the dog, we're still recording. We heard the dog barking earlier. Well, I've done a couple country songs that I recorded. I didn't start recording. I didn't really on our show do a lot of singing because I started drumming when I was 11. But it wasn't until I started dating my husband that's a producer, and I was doing some some charity things for veterans. And he said, we should do a CD. And I'm like, I don't record. And he goes, honey, I can help you with that. And he's a Vietnam veteran, and both of our dads were World War II veterans. And so we worked on a military and also dedicated to first responders. And because my dad, that was a World War II veteran, was also a policeman. And so now in just hopefully before Easter even, we're doing this song. I didn't pick it. I wanted to do a Christian song, but I didn't pick it because it was for Easter. I picked it because of the words, but if you listen to the words, it's perfect for Easter. So it's called How on Earth. So I cried every time I'd hear the demo, and I said, those words are too strong. I just really want to do this song. So we did that, and we'll be coming out with that hopefully really, really soon. He's just remixing some things and then mastering it.
You sound like a very busy person.
You know how thrilling it is to get to do everything that you love.
Yes.
I the patriotic thing we did was because it was Pat and I took almost 2 years picking all the songs for it till Reviver Records said, we'll put it out for you, but you got to finish it. And then my book that I was writing, and people kept adding stories to it. And I got a co-author because I'd never put a book together before. I had all the stories and all the pictures. And he said, quit sending me stories and we'll get it out. I said, people keep giving me stories. They don't even know I'm doing a book. I'm supposed to put them in there. And it's just like, so good to your heart. And everything I'm doing, like grandmother and my kids, I spend a lot of time, my mom, and everything is just a blessing. I am just really, really happy. This is a good time. Well, my whole life, I've just had sections, different things happening, but always good.
What's the sort of situation with the sisters these days?
Well, we're all happy. Barbara retired, it's been about 20 years now. And Louise, like I said, she did the Calamity Jane right before this virus thing hit. It's been a couple of years that she did that, but she's happy. And we all got we all got one grandchild, but I'm expecting the second. So, I'll be double as happy as they are. But Jamie, Barbara's daughter, has a son that's Jax. I think he's 5.5, I think, maybe 6. I lose track of time. I know Louise's granddaughter Larkin's 8, and then mine's 4. And then to have a grandson coming, it's just, I'm so excited. And especially from another child, because I know that Vanessa and Jim, they've been married a few years and they really wanted a child. So it's so good, so I can be happy for them. But the other thing is, we have always been, Barbara always said the three of us together are like a triangle, like a perfect triangle. Like we're just as close to each other, always balanced. And we're still that way. We live like that, actually, because we're spaced like that around Nashville. And so we don't always get together to see each other all the time, but it's really cool now because we'll group text with mom on there and we lost daddy, but we're just the same. We're just as close. Barbara says the shows we did were the best home movies ever, but no, we're not all performing together, but we're together, family, really tight, and it's cool.
I'm going to say thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with us. We really do appreciate it.
Well, I had fun
And
visiting with you, Nigel, and maybe I'll
it,
get to Germany, or maybe you'll get to Nashville and we'll get to meet in person.
well, I'm supposed to come to Nashville kind of like the beginning of next year to sort of to finally get to do some interviews, in person with some people. So I really hope that happens because that'll be a dream come true.
Well,
As
maybe
I
I'll
say,
get
it's
to
on my
meet you in
bucket list.
person, but this feels like almost in person. I love it.
It does, doesn't it? I've got quite used to these things now.
Yes, yes.
And it's like one day I'm in Montana, and then the next day I'm in Nashville. I was up in Connecticut. I'm supposed to be in Australia on Wednesday.
Isn't
It's
that
like traveling the
amazing?
world.
It is. It's
It's
amazing.
wild. It's great stuff.
Well, hi to
So,
everybody there too from me, and
yeah,
I still remember my trip, and I love Germany.
yeah, it's still a lovely place, but it's pretty damn cold at the moment, I can tell you. It's
Yes. Well, it
still
was
coming
winter
out of
when
the
I was
winter.
there, so yeah, I know.
So, for Country Music News International, my name's Nigel Sharpe. I've been talking to Irlene Mandrell, and thanks again to her. And although she's not on screen, thank you, Nancy.
Oh, you're welcome. I will
Oh,
send the
a little
link
hand
to you.
comes around the corner.
I'll send the link to you when we're done.
Thank you very much for that. And thank you again. And goodbye from me.
God bless you.